between Racing Louisville and North Carolina Courage. A gorgeous night in Louisville, Kentucky. Matt Peterson with Ryan Davis, and we look at the standings in the NWSL.
North Carolina Courage starting off with their worst start in NWSL history on their behalf. Only one other team, the Boston Breakers, with a worse start. They have a huge hole to climb out of. No better night than tonight to start digging.
3 teams have climbed the standings with wins this weekend. Jess McDonald, Louisville's top goal scorer this season. She'll face her former team for the first time tonight.
You cannot be the 4th all-time leader in NWSL history without being able to score with your head and your feet. She's the ultimate center forward. She's going to have a huge influence tonight, a lot of emotion, and of course the class to go along with it.
53 career goals, most assists all-time in league history. She won 5 trophies during her time with North Carolina Courage. Here is the starting lineup for Racing Louisville and their first-year head coach, Kim Bjorkegren. One change from the team, which lost against Kansas City on Monday. Entering is Alex Chidiak.
Also, look for CC Kaiser playing that number 10 position, playing right behind McDonald, and Emily Fox, left back, overlapping, providing that width and creativity on that left-hand side. She has 2 assists already this season. She is a threat to provide some width on the left.
Debinha won her 2nd consecutive Challenge Cup MVP. The Brazilian really drives this North Carolina midfield.
She's one of 2 players to play every single minute of this season for this North Carolina team. She leads the team with 5 shot attempts. She has to be the influence in the last third for them to get goals in this 90 minutes.
Here is the starting lineup for Sean Nahas and North Carolina. 2 headlines here. Caroline is back. She was injured in the Challenge Cup Championship and has missed the last 4 weeks. And Brianna Pinto gets her first start.
Number 9, not much games in the last couple of weeks, but that means fresh legs. And to have that runner running in behind the lines with Debinha, the number 10, playing right behind Caroline, and Ordunez on the left. Of course, Pinto, like you said, enough service for that number 9 to get a goal tonight.
The NWSL and its teams are proud to celebrate Pride Month and recognize the amazing LGBTQIA+ community of players, coaches, and fans of the league. Let's take in the scenes as Louisville celebrates tonight. Lynn Family Stadium, Louisville, Kentucky. Great scenes on this Saturday night. Matt Peterson with Ryan Davis, Racing Louisville, and North Carolina Courage. Racing Louisville shut out for the first time in the regular season on Monday against Kansas City, trying to bounce back this evening.
You know, just looking at these score lines for their last couple of games, 1-0 wins in 2 games, and then a 1-0 loss. You have to believe that Racing Louisville wants more goals in the last third. When you don't score enough, it puts so much pressure on your defensive line and your goalkeeper, because any mistake, and either the score is leveled or you go behind. So look for both of these teams to try and conjure up more goals going forward in order to secure 3 points week in and week out.
The referee, Eric Tattersall. North Carolina dominated this fixture last year, but a lot has changed for both sides. Underway from Lynn Family Stadium. Racing Louisville in the black, North Carolina in white, on a sun-splashed evening in Louisville, Kentucky.
Matt, just looking at the formations to start tonight off, a 4-2-2 for the North Carolina Courage, and then a 4-2-3-1 for this Racing Louisville team. That box formation that this North Carolina team is now infamous for, they really congest the midfield, which is going to put pressure on the holding midfielders such as Jalen Howell and Savannah DeMelo for Racing Louisville. On the other hand, when it comes to width, the wing backs or the left and right back for North Carolina Courage, they have to cover the entire length of the field. So Are they more guarded going forward, or do they just go flat out for 90 minutes and cover from sideline to sideline, which could be a tough ask for the full 90 minutes.
Absolutely. Every coach we speak with in the NWSL describes the North Carolina challenge of the box midfield, a 4-2-2-2. And a little wrinkle tonight is Caroline is back. Pinto is starting for the first time in the regular season. She started 4 times in the Challenge Cup. She's looked very good off the bench. She gets a starting role, most likely playing beside Ordonez, with Berkeley and O'Sullivan sitting behind them. But we see the press early on from North Carolina. Louisville pushes forward. It's an early throw-in for the home side. Ordonez, 20 years of age, youngest goal scorer in North Carolina history. She scored back in her home state last weekend. She's from Prosper, Texas, in the DFW area, went down to Houston and scored the opener before a stunning equalizing goal from Rachel Daly. And North Carolina is something to build upon after 3 straight defeats to open the regular season, a point in Houston.
Well, anything will do right now. Like you said, just getting that 1 point and getting something, getting any kind of results is certainly going to ripple through the rest of the team in the dressing room.
Caroline back on the ball at the end line, has options. Caroline centers it and defended it well in the end. Caroline missed 4 weeks, injured in the final. She was the MVP of the Challenge Cup Championship. She scored the opening goal that day. There's a good cross from Matthias. Falls back to Pinto. Good contact, but it's wide of the goal frame. It did take a deflection. It'll be a corner kick for North Carolina Courage.
Just going back to Caroline, after so much time without being on the field, just getting on the ball, creating a bit of a chance, getting her confidence going. And then we saw the shot by Pinto. When that cross comes in, the defenders want to head the ball exactly where the ball came from, not headed to the top of the box. Pinto almost capitalized.
Merritt Matthias will take this corner kick. Here it comes. Headed out. Big crowd inside the box. Stabini puts it right back in there, and there's an opening goal for Kaylee Kurtz. Kurtz unmarked inside the 6. It was the second phase of the corner kick, and North Carolina has an opener inside 4 minutes in Louisville.
Just what the doctor ordered for this Courage team. They've only scored 3 goals in their opening 4 games, getting a goal off of a set piece, and the big centre-back Kurtz getting one on the board and certainly bringing some relief to this team. Good corner, initial corner, and look at it. It's his second service back into the mixer, and there's Kurtz. Strong header, no chance for Lund. 1-0 Courage.
The crowd around the 6 works out for North Carolina. It's a really good header, and it's the first career regular season goal for Kaylee Kurtz.
I tell you what, when you're trying to conjure up goals, you can either get it from defensive pressure, from pressing and so on, when you don't have a rhythm going. But to get goals on set pieces can really set your team straight in regards to getting confidence. And once that confidence starts to flow, then things start to happen in the last third of the field.
Work to do now for the home side. Racing Louisville, we had a good conversation with Kim Bjorkegren about the shutout last week against Kansas City, and he said in a half-joking way, not an arrogant way, but he said, look, my teams have scored. The last 100 games I've managed, my teams have scored in 98 of the 100. So we find ways to win, and Sean Nahas has dealt with the highs and lows in 2022, lifting the Challenge Cup May 7th, and then dealing with COVID-19 and protocols and player absences and illness, and an 0-3 start in the regular season before last week's point in Houston.
I tell you what, and a goal will definitely sort of bleed sort of confidence back into this team. And not only for this game, Matt, but for the games following. They've been struggling so much to get the ball in the back of the net, and finding another way to get one going is certainly going to bleed some confidence into this team.
Kurtz with the Courage since 2018, and it's her first regular season goal. Sometimes set piece is all it takes. Last week it was Ordonez, set up by Daniels. Tonight, inside 4 minutes, it's a Matthias corner. Cleared pretty well, but not all the way out of the box. And Debinha just on the backside to clean up the mess, put it to a good spot for Kurtz.
The service by Debinha, the heads-up play by Debinha. All your centre-backs are up because of the corner. Get the ball right back into the mixer because there's so many bodies there. And Kurtz doing what a centre-back should, getting up, over, and finishing with a head.
Ordonez. Good challenge. It leads to a North Carolina throw-in. It feels like Racing Louisville yet to build a rhythm in this game.
And guess what? We're going to keep harping on it. But when the away team comes in and gets an early goal, look at how quiet the stadium is right now. And Louisville will surely want to get their fans into it. But give the Courage credit. The early pressure and getting that goal has made this stadium very quiet.
Good turn. Chidiac, central. And it's cleared by Pickett. But into a crowd, Debinha earns a free kick under the pressure from Louisville.
Well, if you think Debinha's influence is only in the last third, she's tracking all the way back to help out her midfield. And gets possession back for this team.
We saw Kim Bjorkegren, a rough Challenge Cup, but some learning lessons for his side, and they adjusted, moving from a single defensive midfield setup to a double six, double pivot, which just helps stabilize things.
It does. It really solidifies right in front of the centre-backs, and it also allows your full-backs to go forward, because then you have that box of four in case the play breaks down, and it allows those full-backs more reign on the wing.
Berkeley takes the space. No one's stepping into Malia Berkeley. Now it's Diana Ordonez, square ball, well defended. And now a chance for Racing on the break. McDonald's came from an offside position. Good step from Kurtz, partnering Urseg.
Well, Kurtz had that read the entire way. She put her hand up before, just as soon as the pass was made. Just brilliant centre-back positioning.
Kaiser would push forward.
And it takes a bit of a rhythm playing the centre-back position. We talk about goalkeepers, but the next step up is the centre-backs.
Here's Caroline shoulder to shoulder. Back all the way to Lund, a long touch. Caroline will get there. Now Lund bouncing back towards her own goal. Pinto supporting. Caroline clips it to Pinto. Saved by Lund. What a pass from Caroline. Well struck by Pinto, but Lund staring into the sun. Made a great save.
Well, we talk about the fresh legs of Caroline, running every ball down, hounding the centre-back, wins it back. Beautiful clip ball in, great shot. Strong hands by Lund.
Another corner kick, this one short from Matthias. She got it from Caroline. Matthias comfortable on it. And that time she lost out. Good patient defending from Racing Louisville. That was Julia Lester. 1v1 versus Matthias.
Now, if you're Racing Louisville, you really just want to slow things down and just hold possession for a little while. Let North Carolina continue to have, they have a lot of energy because of the goal. Let them come on to you and now try to work around that press. High risk, high reward. If you get around this press, you're going to have space in the last third to create a chance.
The North Carolina pressure wreaking havoc. That was Fox in possession, did not have an option, and now Pickett will pull it back. Seeing the press and the energy of North Carolina. Debinha slips past a challenge. Debinha to the feet of Ordonez, laid it back. Central, and now space on this left side. Alex Chidiac through the center circle. Good work from Pickett tracking back. All the way back for Casey Murphy.
Well, Racing Louisville is almost weathering the storm right now because the Courage are playing with that much energy. Just saw Chidiac getting the nod tonight in the starting lineup. Just couldn't make the most of that through ball. But with that energy and with North Carolina pushing forward to look for that second, there will be opportunities if you do get past the press to create a chance or two for Louisville.
London, her second season with Louisville after 1 year with Washington. Fox. The pressure from North Carolina really disrupting Louisville. A few times broken through it, but don't seem quite comfortable yet on the ball. Good hold-up play, Jess McDonald.
Yeah, Matt, like I mentioned before, Louisville really have to slow things down and get their own rhythm going here. North Carolina just playing with a bunch of energy, but they have to find their footing, the home team, and start to boss this ball around the pitch.
Free kick given. Ordonez earns the free kick from Rebecca Holloway. Ursig with O'Sullivan. The goal scorer, Kurtz, all the way back. Casey Murphy. Kurtz into the channel, too far for Matthias. But you can see the wide play. You mentioned it at the top. All the wide play comes from the outside backs for North Carolina. Matthias on the right.
Correct.
Pickett on the left, and that was an illustration of how high Matthias will go.
Correct. It's an idea that they will be relentless in going from touchline to touchline, and they have to, or else everything is going to be literally a box of twos going up through the middle, and that can get congested really fast. It's sort of like I-4 in Florida. It gets congested very fast.
Ken Bjorkegren, well-traveled, successful in his coaching time for the Swede. Good physicality, but a free kick is won here by North Carolina Courage. It was Howell slicing through midfields. And the Herman Trophy Award back-to-back years at Florida State.
Well, one of the roles of the holding midfielder is to influence and break up plays. And Howell doing exactly that, just being a little too physical. But that's what you want out of your number 6.
High line here from Racing Louisville, about 5 or 6 yards beyond the 18-yard box. Carson Pickett will deliver. It's a good ball, headed out. And now Louisville will try and counterattack, but there's a free kick given. Got a jersey tug there.
Well, good service in, and a free kick on that angle. You're always looking for the second ball, not the initial pass. But good defending in the end by Louisville, getting their heads to it. It's all about effort at that point defensively.
Caroline starting. Slightly unusual, Ryan, for a player to miss 4 weeks and come back as a starter, not off the bench. We've had conversations with Sean Ahas over the weeks. She's coming along, being very careful with her early in the season, but she gets the start tonight.
I think we're just going to chalk it up to pedigree. She's had so much time before the injury, so much performances before the injury. It's like riding a bike. Once she can get one foot in front of the other, we're going to put her on the pitch and get some minutes out of her.
Surely on a minutes restriction tonight. Caroline, her first game in 4 weeks. There's Kurtz, the goal scorer, wide for Merritt Mathias. Carson Pickett now. O'Sullivan will spin on it. Pickett once again. Hard challenge, free kick.
That's his centre-back, Gemma Bonner, coming all the way up on the attacking midfielder, not allowing her to turn. It's almost, it's like a statement. You will not be allowed to turn. You will not be allowed to dictate the play from there. And that's all it is, the centre-back letting the attacking midfielder know of her presence.
Very physical start to this one. Everything contested. Pinto thought she was fouled. Holloway will throw it in. She made her debut on Monday against Kansas City, coming from Birmingham City. Helped Northern Ireland reach the 2022 Women's Euros. Caroline inside the box. Gemma Bonner slides over to clear. You see the work rate from Caroline. One moment she's in the penalty area. A blink of an eye later, she's putting a ball out near the sideline.
You know, the center forward role, you have to understand, it is a hard, tough role. You're the first defender, and then you have the responsibility of trying to put the ball in the back of the net. Countless running, both defensively and offensively.
We see Kim Bjorkegren looking on. What do you think he is considering through the first 16 minutes?
I think he's a little concerned his team is not settled and not getting any sort of rhythm because of the courage and their energy. But I think as time wears on, the courage is not going to be able to maintain this energy. And then his team, like right now, have to start capitalizing on North Carolina committing.
Excellent dribbling through traffic from CC Kaiser. Off to the right, the best break so far for Louisville, Racing Louisville. Enough white shirts there to snuff out that attack. It was Lauren Malay in a good spot on the right side. One back here by Louisville.
Well, a little indecisive by Malay. She had the room, she had the opportunity to cross the ball in. Just took one too many dribbles and got herself into a box where she couldn't get out of.
Matthias for O'Sullivan. Good step in midfield. One back by Lester. Here's Fox. In front of Malay. Pickett out to defend. A little push from Pickett. Play on. Dabinia with Pinto. That's excellent through midfield. Look at this from North Carolina. But Caroline's last touches slow down. That's good transitional defending from Louisville.
Well, you got your first glimpse of the 4-2-2-2 coming right through the middle. Just little 1-2 passes to maneuver through the midfield. And that's what they can bring because of their formation, North Carolina.
A weighted ball. Good cross. Time. And blocked. It's O'Sullivan sliding over there to join Kurtz and others. A good chance here in the 18th minute.
Well, Lauren Malay, looking for goal number 2 this season, has in pinpoint position. And look at the wall of white. Just desperate defending by North Carolina. They know how badly they need to get 3 points tonight. And they're playing like it.
A wall of white, well said, Ryan Davis. It was 3 defenders there supporting Casey Murphy at that near post. Really well struck by Malay. A second ball here, handled by Murphy. She'll throw out as the game opens up. That's Ordonez. Get there on the sideline.
I tell you what, Matt, I am loving the pace of this game now. Both teams just going at it, hammer and tongue.
Better press from Racing Louisville, forcing a throw in. Malay, good chance. Blocked at the near post. You can hear the instructions from the Louisville sideline and first-year head coach Kim Bjorkegren. Second appearance for Rebecca Holloway after coming over from Birmingham City. Oof. Sullivan wins a free kick. Kaiser commits the foul.
Well, the tackle from behind, long outlawed in this game. May have been legal just about 10, 15 years ago, but that's no longer the case.
Murphy with Kurtz. 4th minute goal, Kaylee Kurtz. Second phase of a corner kick initially served by Matthias. Not fully cleared. The second ball was delivered by Dabinia, and from the edge of the 6, glancing header from Kurtz for the opening goal. Good work from Pinto. Berkeley has space. Berkeley with the big switch for Pickett. Good vision.
Beautiful ball.
Now Pickett, one touch, her head up, and her cross is headed out by Bonner. When you have a best 11 left back in Carson Pickett, Berkeley knows to get the ball out to her early and often.
I love the fact she didn't even have to look up. It was just sort of a rhythm, sort of the system they've been working on. The fullbacks have to push up every single time. Berkeley just swinging out to the left-hand side, knowing that Pickett will be there. Just beautiful to watch.
Holloway to throw it in. Pickett targeting Ordonez. Denise O'Sullivan now for North Carolina. Matthias opens up. Excellent step from Rebecca Holloway. Kaiser's return ball just a bit off, cleaned up by Berkeley. Berkeley played center back at Florida State, ACC Defender of the Year. She's been more of a defensive midfielder this spot. It's a dangerous horizontal ball. Nearly won, but well cleared.
Just judging from Berkeley's vision from that last play, I think they have her in the exact position she needs to be in. It's one thing to have that sort of size and gusto to break plays up, but in that position, you also have to distribute and create flow as well in that holding midfield role. So Berkeley, so far, so good at that holding midfield role.
Facing a former teammate, Jalen Howell at Florida State. Howell playing the same position on the opposite side for Racing Louisville. Kurtz to the feet of Berkeley. O'Sullivan with Matthias. Good tempo tonight from North Carolina. We speak with Sean Nahas, and oftentimes he talks about moving from right to left, good tempo, finding the isolated players, either Pickett or Matthias. There's Kurtz over the top.
You know, despite North Carolina's poor results, they had 65% possession against Houston and only came away with a 1-1 draw. So they're trying to get back on the ball again tonight and try to dictate the play in Louisville.
Look at the run from Fox, dispossessed by Berkeley, but the cross comes from the right. Overhit the entire box. CC Kaiser now against Matthias. Good dribbling. Kaiser with their head up. Drives it towards the back post. Kaiser thought it was deflected. Goal kick instead for North Carolina.
Look at the bravery by Kaiser, not backing up, taking the ball right down the throat of the defender and putting the ball in the danger area. Just nobody following up the back post. You expect Millet to run into there and be there at that back post. Didn't show up, but you love that sort of initiative by Kaiser.
Here's Kurtz coming out of the back. Switch for Pickett. Davinia. Good win. It's on for Racing Louisville. Jess McDonald against her former team. McDonald off the post. Cleared by O'Sullivan. What a moment that could have been for Jess McDonald. Cross from the right. On top of the goal. It was so close for Jess McDonald. Her first appearance against North Carolina.
Maybe just too much emotion. Maybe thought about it too much. But great press by Louisville. And McDonald's off to the races. Goes near post instead of far post. And may have cost herself a goal there. Always try to go across the keeper's body in that instance. Try to catch Murphy at her near post. And the pole itself was the best defender on the field.
Meanwhile, here's Caroline going the other way. Bonner, good defending in the open field. Wins it twice against Caroline and Ordonez. But a big move for Racing Louisville. You look at last year, North Carolina outscored Louisville 10-1 in the 3 meetings. And one of the ways you can change that is take one of the best players from that team and playing her in at the number 9 position.
Oh, I'm sorry, not just one of the best players, the 4th leading scorer in NWSL history and the number 1 assist leader in NWSL history. So talk about an influential player to get onto your roster.
And you were right, the entire chance came from the press. Free kick given. North Carolina was caught in possession. O'Sullivan earns this free kick. From DeMello. Savannah DeMello. Memorable free kick to beat San Diego a few weeks back. Conversation with Kim Bjorkegren about drafting her. And Howell, we asked about his input on the draft because his hire was just announced a week or two before the draft as it's clipped in. He said, I was in Sweden watching a lot of video, good conversations, day in, day out. He knew both the players and heavily involved in the process, but admittedly new to the NWSL, while tracking it on a constant basis as the personal coach for Nadia Nadim, who might make her return tonight. She's available off the bench. Here is Jess McDonald's. Touch got away from her. It's cleaned up by Kurtz.
Well said, Matt. Excellent run by McDonald. She wants that one back. You can see it on her face, but the touch was so heavy, it brought the defender right into the play. But boy, you know she's thinking about that last play, the one that hit the post.
McDonald, 22 goals, 20 assists over a 5-year run with North Carolina Courage. 5 trophies won, 3 shields, 2 NWSL titles. Malay battling Pickett in the corner. Berkeley comes over to help. Ordonez will throw it in quickly to Caroline. Pinto joining on this near side. An open field from Lint Family Stadium. You can hear the instruction from the coaching staff for Louisville asking the defenders to stay tighter on these North Carolina players.
Oh, we talk about the wing backs having all the room for these North Carolina formation. They do not want those full backs to dictate the play with crosses and putting the ball back into the feet of the forwards. Hence the reason the instruction to get tighter out on the full backs. Don't have them dictate the play and start to give the defenders out of position.
Ken Bjorkegren, 40 years of age, from Sweden. In Cyprus the last couple of years. In China before that. His native Sweden.
You know, I've never been to Cyprus. Have you ever been to Cyprus, Matt?
I can't say I have.
I'm going to have to put that on the bucket list.
He could give you a tour. High-scoring teams, Apollon Ladies. As he joked this week that in his last 100 games in charge, his teams have scored in 98 of the 100. Matthias crossing. Good first touch, Pinto. She'll face up now. Brianna Pinto tries to pull it back. Good defending in the end. It was Savannah DeMello standing up Pinto.
Well, Savannah DeMello leads this league in tackles, and anything in that area, in and around the box, she's going to be in your hip pocket trying to get a foot in, and she did that perfectly in the 18-yard box.
London under some pressure. Louisville shut out Monday against Kansas City for the first time this regular season. Need to score at least once tonight to get something from this game. Pinto with Pickett. And Caroline is so comfortable dropping into that midfield and providing support. Here she is turning. Wonderful turn from the Brazilian. Layoff from Ordonez. A good cover. Sliding over was Holloway. Now it's Ordonez. Pickett to the corner. Well read by Fox.
You know, I love the observation of Caroline just dropping into those gaps just in front of the 4. You know, from her native Brazil, they teach that a lot. You can't just sit on the center back. You have to be mobile all the time, going from sideline to sideline. And because of her great footwork, you just want the ball to get the ball into her feet and let her create. She'll either lay the ball off for some overlapping or turn, face her marker.
Dabinia just slightly too heavy in front of Caroline. Lund quickly rolls out. Here's Fox with her head up. Ken Bjorkegren was effusive with his praise for Fox, said she's one of the best outside backs in the world, but he wants her to be more involved in the attack. She has a free rein. She gets forward at will, but he wants more attack from her. And we saw one of the long runs from her earlier tonight as Murphy comes off her line.
You know, sometimes it's one thing to overlap and provide service, but it's another thing as a left back or a right back to overlap and become almost a finisher. And Fox has that sort of talent to almost not only hug the sideline, but when she overlaps, maybe come inside of it, maybe get a goal or an assist instead of a cross, but maybe through a through ball. Maybe that's the sort of attack he wants from Fox because she has that sort of talent. And instead of an overlapping fullback, we'll call that a fullback finisher, as the fullback who comes inside to create rather than just hug the sideline.
Fox, 1 goal in the regular season, no assists. Led the entire league among rookies last year with over 1,800 minutes. There's Carson Pickett. I think the template for Fox is on her side of the field with Carson Pickett. 5 assists last year, best 11. When you hear Kim Bjorkegren speak about Fox, it's a player like Pickett, Sofia Huerta, Caprice Didasco, these fulcrum outside backs across the NWSL that are one of the primary chance creators for their teams.
Yeah, because the center of the field in modern day soccer has become so congested, those outside backs, a lot of the pressure have come onto their shoulders now, and they've welcomed it as well to then create and become the playmakers almost, because they're the ones with the most amount of room. So you see these players on these outside fullback positions really influencing the game with crosses and the pass before the pass.
Pickett's delivery.
Oh, what a ball.
Here comes Ordonez!
Oh.
Could not square it up, but a spectacular delivery from Pickett and a chance there for Diana Ordonez.
And perfect timing, Matt. Of course, the outside back Pickett with just a beauty of a ball over the top. Gently, and Ordonez just couldn't hook her foot around it. But again, the left back Pickett being the playmaker, being the creator, and she put that ball on a platter for Ordonez. Thank you, Pickett, for picking that time to make our point.
Last week on the call, Casey White, who was part of the coaching staff with Ordonez in her younger days, and said that first goal is going to be huge for her. A young player scored her first regular season goal, what it will do for her confidence. We saw the pictures from PNC Stadium last week. Estimated 20 to 40 family members in the stadium to watch her first regular season goal, and maybe the first of many is the expectation for Ordonez.
Yeah, second youngest player in NWSL history to score. That was just, talk about a testament of this young girl with courage, no pun intended, to come onto the field and really take the moment. And that's what you want out of your players up on the front line, to take the moment, be brave.
Good win. Kaiser, recovered by O'Sullivan. McDonald helping it on. It's Kaiser, edge of the box, quick feet. CC Kaiser dispossessed. How calm was that from Aaliyah Berkeley inside her box? Just taking it from Kaiser.
The timing of the tackle could not have been any better. Kaiser trying to size up that left-footed shot, couldn't find the ball underneath her, and Berkeley, right place, right time, perfect timing on the tackle.
Nice surgical from Berkeley, just did not want to commit a penalty. Wanted to avoid contact, and she won the ball. The next Racing Louisville home game is Saturday, June 11th against Angel City FC. Go to racingloufc.com/tickets to purchase yours today. Matt Peterson with Ryan Davis, 1-0 North Carolina Courage, 4th-minute goal from Kaylee Kurtz. First ever regular season goal. Look at this from Caroline, bouncing off defenders. Back to her right, and the shot was finally blocked. First game in 4 weeks for Caroline, and look at that long run. Certainly not lacking confidence.
Man, it's almost expected in her country. Turns, takes on her marker, beats one, gets a rhythm, beats two. In that position, you may want her to lay one off, but she had such a rhythm at that point. Great recovery by Louisville, but that's what you expect from Carolina when she's on the field.
Throw into Ordonez. The thrower, Pinto, was in an offside position.
Well, mental lapse by Ordonez. No chance for Pinto to stay onside. Ordonez had the opportunity to come cut inside and look for some more support. Pinto was left for dead.
Big switch from Bonner. Excellent vision to find Holloway, but it's won back by Ordonez. This is what makes it difficult to break North Carolina down. They have the box midfield, but then willing attackers tracking back. We've seen Caroline do the defensive work that time. You have Ordonez, a forward, almost back to midfield to win the ball.
Yeah, we also see Dabinia constantly in motion like we're seeing right now. Everybody is just sort of playing their part.
Dabinia comes away with it, but cannot hit the target. It was the initial run from Caroline. Good defending from Bonner with her challenge. And it fell to the Brazilian.
Well, Dabinia's run started from the center circle and it angled all the way out to the left-hand side just to get open. Once she did, righty being on the left, cut inside. Got a brilliant shot off, but it just shows what Dabinia and Caroline can do individually, which takes so much pressure off of other players in getting open.
Hustling Dabinia, Bonner clears. Here's Matthias, and the tempo for North Carolina is something you appreciate about North Carolina. Up a goal on the road, they keep the tempo going. They look for a second. They're not going to sit on it, but it's won here by McDonald. Space on the left side, vacated by Matthias. Malay will slow things down. Pull it back for CC Kaiser. Excellent ball from Kaiser, just slightly too long. Murphy read it well.
Well, Coach Bjorkeren wants his players to play multiple positions. Malay coming all the way from the right-hand side, finding herself on the left and instigating that play. Almost a chance for Louisville. Just fluent football by the home team.
Here's Berkeley joining. Cut down by Fox. All the way back for Lund. Out in front of Rebecca Holloway. Lester across the back to Lund. 4th minute goal. Scored by Kaylee Kurtz. She's been in the NWSL since 2018. Her first regular season goal tonight. Headed goal from the center back off the service from Dabinia. Second phase of a corner kick, which was delivered by Merritt Matthias. Howell direct to the corner. Pickett inside for Abby Ursig. Dabinia tried the back heel. A turnover. CC Kaiser tried to find Jess McDonald. Murphy off her line.
Matt, there's a place and a time for everything. That back heel works wonders in the last third of the field, in the middle third of the field, and the defensive third of the field. You do not want to see any back heels going on by your players, and I'm sure the coach for North Carolina may have bitten his lip a little too hard when Dabinia tried the back heel.
Well, we asked Sean Nahas about Dabinia's evolution. Become more of a goal scorer this year. He said her evolution is amazing. She came to America, didn't speak much English. Her English has come a long way. She's more fit. She's more assertive. Pinto wins the second ball here. Dabinia joining. Almost a takeover of Pinto there. Now it's Pinto. Very patient. Back from Aaliyah Berkeley. Louisville sitting very deep. No one stepping to the ball. But he said, I don't mind her losing the ball, but we tell her, you lose the ball, you have to win it back. In that moment, there was no time to win it back.
Correct, and that's professional sports. I mean, you can't just sit back and rest on your laurels. Even though she's great offensively, if the ball is given away, the effort has to be there to retrieve.
Pickett with Dabinia. Deep throw incoming.
You know, and we always look at athletes in whatever sport, on the field, performing or not performing, off the field, so much influences what happens on the field. Like you mentioned, Davina comes in, starts to speak some English, able to communicate, make some friends, and then happiness off the field translates to happiness on the field.
Neha says we try to encourage her to play that style, the back heels in the defensive half, those sort of things. But you need to win it back, or you need to fight to win it back when you do lose it. It has not slowed her down one bit. Here she is in the corner working with Caroline. Great energy in this first half for North Carolina, buoyed by the 4th-minute goal from Kaylee Kurtz.
Well, we talked about North Carolina, only 3 goals in the opening 4 games. That set piece set the tone for the away team tonight. And boy, have they stepped up in this first 45. Thoroughly deserve their 1-0 lead.
Berkeley to throw it in. It's an excellent ball for Pickett. Ordonez running. Well defended. 2 defenders between Ordonez, the target. Caroline slows it down. Restart coming for North Carolina.
Well, that was pitched.
Let's look at some of the moments from this first half from Dabinia. First, the challenge from Caroline. Here's that turn.
Yeah, here's that back heel you see in the defensive third of the field. You just do not want to see that. It puts all the white shirts out of position, and they're all tracking back to get back into position, which makes it tireless for your defense.
Direct from Pickett. Caroline in the channel, it's put out to touch. Ally is proud to support this presentation of the National Women's Soccer League. Ally, do it right. Here's Dabinia, endless energy from the Brazilian, running the entire half. Good defending there from Racing Louisville. Ursig flies in. Howell. DeMello. Bonner. Better from Racing Louisville. They use the width of the fields. Now Fox to the corner from Malay.
You could definitely see Louisville now starting to settle down. They had a lot of problems with the press at the beginning of the game. Couldn't find their rhythm. And sadly for them, only 2 minutes left in this first half. But you can see the rhythm is there now. Everyone a lot more confident on the ball.
Here comes Fox pushing forward, crossing, and it's headed over the bar. Excellent from Fox. That's where Kim Bjorkegren wants her. And it came off the head of Jess McDonald.
Well, whenever Millet tucks in, Fox could then go forward. You can see that 1-2, Millet tucking in, Fox with the room now. And look at the ball right onto McDonald's head. Brilliant service by the right back. McDonald just couldn't get over it.
Jess McDonald hit the post in the first half, her first appearance against her former team. And that forward run from Fox, an illustration as Ursig runs it down. She has just an effortless run. She's just jogging at the corner. Almost seemed like a warm-up.
Just an incredible athlete and can get into that space so quickly.
Merritt Mathias. Pinto. Her first regular season start after 4 in the Challenge Cup. Pickett picks her head up. Ursig supporting. Berkeley. Who else but Dabinia? Long switch for Mathias, entering first half stoppage time. Back post header is in! Ordonez in the first minute of stoppage time after a wonderful delivery from Mathias. Ordonez, her second straight game with a goal, and North Carolina have 2 goals in Louisville.
Well, this play all starts with the Brazilian Debinha pulling the strings, spraying the ball out wide to the overlapping right back. Yes, he switches the play. And look at the cross by Matthias. And Ordonez, 2 for 2. Strong header right back across the body of the goalkeeper. Exactly how you want it. Copybook cross, textbook finish. And what a finish to the half by this North Carolina Courage team. They are back in business.
Ordonez, her second regular season goal, second straight game with a goal. Here in first half stoppage time, presented by Verizon. Minimum of 1 minute added on. And there's the halftime whistle. We'll give credit, Ryan Davis. We said North Carolina did not sit on that first goal. They push for a second and they get it right before halftime.
You know what? When goals aren't coming, it's like a ketchup bottle. You keep squeezing the ketchup bottle, and here comes the ketchup. The goals are flowing out for North Carolina. They're doing all the right things, the intangibles, and as a result, they have a 2-0 lead after 45 minutes.
Kaylee Kurtz, her first ever regular season goal in the NWSL. And then a second goal in as many matches for Diana Ordonez. Halftime at Racing Louisville at Lynn Family Stadium. And it's North Carolina 2, Racing Louisville nothing. And we'll be back with the Ally NWSL matchup right here on CBS Sports.
Matt, the North Carolina coach, what's his name?